We will now look at importing players into our event, using a comma-separated file, otherwise known as a .csv file. This file can be created in a text editor, such as Notepad, or Notepad++, but we recommend using a spreadsheet application such as Microsoft Excel, or Apache OpenOffice. Let's first take a look at an example import file in the text editor. Each entry in the file is separated by a comma. Provided you carefully enter the information, this can work. However, it is easy to insert an extra comma, or miss one, in very large files, and difficult to spot. So using this method to generate import files is not recommended. So let's look at the same file in a spreadsheet application. We are using Microsoft Excel from the Office 365 suite. Let's take a closer look at the fields that the import file requires. These can be in any order, but must be present. A field for the first name, a field for the surname, a date of birth or birthday field, a gender or sex field, a club field, a grade field, and finally a category field. The category field should be the same as the event category in which the player is to compete. If a player wishes to compete in multiple categories, simply enter another line in the sheet for them, with the additional category. Notice that there are some cells highlighted in yellow. This is just to show you that there are some errors in the spreadsheet, incorrectly named clubs, categories and grades. The import process will detect these, and give you the opportunity to correct the errors. So now let's go ahead and import the file. Select Import Players from the main menu. Select the event. You are now presented with an Explorer dialog, to select the file that you wish to import. Select the file. The Map Import Fields dialog opens. Because Jscore Manager does not know in what order each field is organized in your import file, it presents this dialog to allow you to map the fields, so that they can be imported correctly. It takes the first row of data, and presents it in text fields, allowing you to select them, and map them to the correct input, by clicking the appropriate button to match each field. Once all the mapping buttons have been set, and showing green, click the Save button, to continue the import process. Jscore Manager will now check that all the clubs mentioned in the import file match existing clubs in its database. If they do not, you will be presented with the option to map a club to an existing club, if its name has been spelt incorrectly, or to add a new club to the database before continuing. In this case, we have found 2 clubs in the import file that appear to be misspelled. Select the first club with the mouse. The Map Club dialog appears. From the second drop-down, try to find the club, if it is already on the system, and select the match that you wish to map. Click the Map button to select the club mapping, otherwise click the Add button to add a new club. We will click the Map button. Repeat the process for the second club. Now Jscore Manager will check that all the imported categories match those in the database. In the same way that misspelled clubs were identified, the importer has found 2 categories that it cannot match to the categories selected for the event. Just as we map the clubs, we can now map these categories to existing event categories. Now, the importer has found a grade that it does not recognize. In the same way as for clubs and categories, the importer will allow you to map this grade to a grade that exists on the system. Now 2 checks will be performed. First, the system will check if these players have been added to the system previously, for other events. If they have, it will not create duplicate player records for them, rather simply create registration records for them, for the event. Second, it will check if the player has already been registered for this event, in which case the import will ignore them. Finally, it will import and register all valid players for the event. And that's it. You have now successfully imported 330 players into the event. Thanks for watching.